Welcome to the first episode 380 of Net Zero in 90 seconds. So what is the story behind Net Zero in 90 seconds? Well, this is going to be a collaboration between me and my son, Findlay. The idea was triggered by me finding Findlay's LinkedIn profile of video editor. School is over and we're in the summer holidays, so we need to find a project to keep Findlay away from boredom. So we decided we'd combine his passion for video editing and my passion for net zero, climate finance and markets to launch a summer series of climate finance content. So some important points to cover for Net Zero in 90 seconds. 90 seconds is 1.5 minutes. Hopefully 1.5 minutes is consumable content. There will, however, be an exemption for our first episode. 1.5 is also a key temperature target for net zero. We also have an episode counter, and instead of starting from 1, we'll start from 380. This represents a number of billion tons available in the carbon budget to maintain temperatures at 1.5 degrees centigrade. We will reduce this by 1 every week, representing the approximate 1 billion tons of gross emissions humans are responsible for emitting each week. You may ask why we're using gross emissions. Well, we don't put any value on carbon sinks, so we're not going to count the impact of them. And why am I in a suit? Well, Findlay said this is such an important subject, we need to dress seriously. The content will be built on the principle of Adam Grant's book, Think Again, and in particular, his comments around knowledge. So there's a lot of stuff we don't know, and if you apply this to something like net zero, then it's pretty daunting. So I'd like to use Net Zero in 90 seconds to test what I do know, reduce the gap of what I don't, and use this to help build environmental markets which can help price climate risk and solve for net zero. We'll cover anything relevant to climate finance, really, whether it's something I've read or listened to through a podcast or a conversation. It could be something enlightening, powerful, helpful, and it could be something sitting on the top of the Dunning-Kruger effect. So wish us luck in our collaboration. When I asked Findlay how many views he had on his video edits so far, he said about 120,000. So I'm hoping he can help me increase my followers on LinkedIn. And since we'll be talking about markets and economics, then we need to put an incentive in place to keep Findlay away from his boredom. So we've agreed for every new follower our summer series generates, Findlay will receive 10 pence. Warning, his existing content is a little bit different to what we're hoping to bring you. He's into movies, shredding, what else? Music. Here's an example. Take a look, and we'll see you next week.
Good like soul food. Parked up outside in the old school. The new me back with the OU. The dog always find his way back home, and it's so true. Later on, fall through and pop.